Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. So, today we will be editing two full videos to 30 minutes. I try to squeeze in there the time frame with Henry Yoshiba. What I mean by that is I didn't edit it. I still sent it to them in hopes that they would look at it and actually play the whole full 35 minutes of it. Um, so if they kick it back, you know, um, I doubt if they kick it back. So let's get started with the StreamYard. Uh, mm, 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 mm. Whoa. Almost there. Sorry, you guys. I'm loading up. Mm, mm. I got so many videos, you guys. Okay, here we go. We stop. Okay. So I know Gary Brown. I did Ghostman Rain. Delete that. I think we talked about Gary Brown too. I'm permanently deleting these. But I'll keep Frank King's because he was a part of NBC's and he probably watches my show most likely. So I'll do Gary Hill and Tony Jefferson. The lead. Um, so let's see. Gary Hill is complete. Um, Hi. I wish I can say, I was gonna buy a wig just like your face. That is so cool. It's a cosplay wig. I would so rock it if it was like puffy. You know, how do me and drag people have stuff alike? Like for instance, the hair. I like puffy hair. I think it looks very, different. Cosplay wigs as well. You get the right one and you look very well put. I don't like to look normal. It's just not me. And an alien, a real alien, not no labeled alien, they would want to be themselves. And if that makes others uncomfortable, then oh well. Okay, now go here. Cool. Bam. Bam. I'm almost finished. It seemed like I'm not doing nothing but talking junk, but I'm not, you know. Wouldn't you like somebody that is honest with you? Why would you want somebody that lies to you? I mean, some people, and I hate to say it, some people rather accept lies than the truth. Some people will rather accept a lie than the truth. Me, I rather accept the truth. Okay, let's pause it here. How many minutes? We got to shave off 17, 18:09. Let's go ahead and connect you guys now. Close out some things like this, that. I like this. He may be saying something against me, but look, trust in the sinless blood of Jesus Christ against the sins of nature and against the invisible demons and the invisible. Good one, good one, really good one. Wow. I like that. I like this one too. Yes, it's a weave. Funny. Word munchers. That look just like word munchers. Hi. Hi, hi, hi. So let's get started, you guys. The Mad Hatter. Marion, Illinois, probably like 60 miles from Chicago. I'm gonna gladly give him his footage. And the second guest, which is right here. What's his name? Tony Jefferson. Even if I don't get a response, I made a promise and a vow that I would give them their footage. So that's what we're doing. Whether I like the footage or not, I'm not biased. I'm not going to sit up there and say because they treated me a certain way to sit up there and do. I used to do that. Don't underestimate. I have feelings too, but I don't remember this footage. I don't even remember him. But I remember my shirt and me, but all I'm saying is that I don't know who he is or how this is about to go down. You know, like I said I never had to get off the line with somebody before. And I did end up getting off the line with somebody after I kept saying it. So whoever is watching me, I would curse, but you're not even worth curse words. Okay, it's coming to me. It's coming to me. I don't remember the background, but I remember. Let's listen to some more. He said he likes walking around in cemeteries. Huh. And some people are close with the dead. I don't look at that as a bad thing. Now, when you start digging up bodies or putting bodies in coffins that's already there or doing other things, then we have a problem. But being at cemeteries could be a connection to a whole nother room. That's why they have it of importance, a cemetery with a number. So obviously you go somewhere after death. Obviously you go somewhere after death. And they know what it is. The government wouldn't contribute to bunches of empty bins, FEMA or whatever it's called, you know. So it's yeah. I wonder how many copies of my body on this earth are there? Our ancestors, our bloodlines before us. Where I know where my mother is buried. I don't know where my great grandmother is buried. I don't know where my great 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 grandmother is buried. I don't know where my great 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 great. You see where I'm going with this? So, yeah. It's always a copy of yourself. I do know that. That makes perfect sense. That was my bloodline, but there's a copy. One day, my bloodline will be risen. And what I mean by that is, as they fall, so shall they rise in another sunlight uh, session. And that goes for everyone. When we fall, we rise. When we rise, we fall. Sometimes science can keep us from falling, but everybody don't get that privilege. I'm trying to hold my composure. You could tell. You see, right then and there, I'm absorbing what he's saying. I listened to everything he said, but when they stop, I have to think of a question. So I have to revamp. I could, which I do now, think of a question prior to them stopping because I can tell when they're about to stop. If I disconnect eye contact, sometimes they stop. If they're making it, like, it would be too obvious if they just stop and say, "My name is Kimberly Cloud." So if they say, "My name is Kimberly Cloud, I have my bachelor's, associates, master's, going for another master's," then, and that's what I'm about. That's the end of, that's not my end, but that's the end. So then I have to think of a question. So now what I do is I either write it down or I think of a question. And I don't mean to cut them off, but this is how journalists are. It's no way a journalist can retain a question. They even cut off Trump. All of the famous journalists have to cut him off, or sometimes don't, because they have their questions pre-written. I don't. It's not scripted. It's live. That takes strong work. Only a few elite can make it and put their feet to the fire. to do that type of work, my life. And I have came from the bottom, and I still would sit up there and do it partially for free. It's only extenuating circumstances, because only because I'm not going to do it because you're mad at me, but I'm going to do it because you may really want to get your portfolio out there and you have no funding. But if you have money and you just choose not to do it, and you want to emasculate me or belittle me to make me feel like I'm not worth 60 to $100, then I'm not worth your service anyway. And I would like to say the only reason I would accept someone free, which the people I've heard circumstances I've accepted a free and they never showed, or it was fake, like, yeah, like I sat up there and literally offered my services to them. Like one guy that took my picture that's sitting behind me right now, as you can see right there, right there, the guy who took my picture. What is his name? I forgot his name. Reese, Damaris Reese, Demont Reese. He sat up there and he freaking took my picture, and I've had it up in Santa Maria near the circular circle roundabout. It was up in the air with the rest of the veterans. He took my picture. I hope I said that right. Yeah, he took my picture. Yes. And this picture, it was everywhere. So I owe him. He did it for $100. His photos, he done took pictures of Obama. He done took pictures of Neo. He done took pictures of Bush. He got a big plaque. I don't know what I did with the lost footage of me and Demond. He was my first interview. And yeah, he did it for $100. That's worth $100. This man has a huge studio. That $100 wasn't nothing to him. So that's why I would do it for free. Because some or partial money. Business is business. I have never screwed nobody over. People have screwed me over. When it comes to paying people, if I can't pay, I will let them know I cannot pay. I don't sit up there and get screwed over, like screw people over. I sat up there and I told them, I wrote a check to my rental office, and they didn't tell me when they cashed it. So I didn't have money in there. But I knew something wasn't right with the way it was cashed, because that money should have came out anyway, whether the check bounced or not. But it bounced on their end. And then I came with the cashier's check, which I have the receipt for, ready to go, because I'm ready for that money to be deducted out of my account. That's the example I'm giving. I have never messed anybody over. No one. It just seems like it. So let's finish watching that video. Hi, volume gone. Balletron. I don't even know what that means. Thank you. Love you too. I used to love that shirt, man. I fall in love. I don't know about y'all. Some people buy items and they it's in the pile with the rest of the items. But everything I wear, I fall in love with if it is my style, I think you know what I think I'm gonna do? I think I'm gonna take one good outfit and I'm gonna put it in like a time capsule and I'm gonna bury it somewhere and then come back to it when I get a house and then see if I can still fit it or have I how I look now and in 70. If I had to build real quick, I'm sorry. If I had to build a time capsule, I must say this because I got all night. If I had to build a time capsule, I would have the five heartbeats in there, the Beatles, John Lennon, because I know how to play that song via violin, but not now that I'm gonna write that down. Um, John Lennon, and a couple of other good videos like New Jack City, because I grew up watching stuff like that, which was kind of weird. It was kind of weird, being 10 years old, exposed to something of that vulgarness, you know. If Imagine your child exposed to something like that. That is one thing I would never want to expose a child to, because despite it being fake, it's not fake, but it's fake. A child can't, if you condition a child in their young adult years to watch filth, such as New Jack City, you know, I'm not saying that because he's black, it was wrong. I'm saying because whoever was around and surrounding me should have sheltered me in a way where that wasn't nice. But I kind of am not mad because my mistakes from the future that dealt with the past has made me a stronger individual to say that yes, with the right things, you don't have to be like that. It's so many things that done happened to me. A lady sat up there and slept with my husband and got pregnant. She was a white lady. I had access to guns, 20 of them. I left that state to go to Philly. I left that city to go to Philly and gave my guns to the state troopers between Mountaintop Napa area and Philly. If I was demented, I would have got revenge on her after she told me he did sleep with her. This not nothing in my head. I didn't just come up with it because I'm pure psychic. They told me they slept with her. Right? And my employees. And that is sick. That is sick. Anybody in the world. And that's why I would never do that to a woman. But for some reason, in their demented clockwork head, reverse clock, not even reverse or forward, somewhere in between wonky, they think I want their men. I wouldn't fathom doing it unless someone that is higher up know that they orchestrated her to sleep with my husband. And they think I may do the same thing, but it's not even worth it. Because then you would be right and I would be wrong. And I love being right. And y'all know that to the haters. Do y'all remember Goosebumps? And I have to say one last thing. I have to say that when the right person finds me, if you're out there watching, just be kind and honest. Don't sit up there, and you have to have a hard uh, shell, because if you don't, um, people are going to try to talk about you for being around me. So if you can accept that, even with, like, I've been with the most beautiful people, like I've been with like people, like, and what I mean by that is friends, not nothing sexual, but I've been around beautiful people, like, and I know kind-hearted beautiful people from ugly beautiful people, from ugly ugly people to ugly beautiful people. Just straightforward, being honest. I just want an honest person. And I know there's a couple out there watching. I'm not looking for plural, I'm looking for singular. It looks bad for me because people who don't trust each other and are out for their own good kind of fits the category of me when it isn't me. From the outside looking in, it looks like that, but it is not that. I love helping everybody. I cannot help if you resist. I cannot help if someone resists me being nice to them. That goes for that's not even towards just white people. That's even my black people. There's white people that resist other white people. There's white people that resist black people. There's white people that resist Hispanic people. Hispanics resist whites. Blacks resist whites. It goes back and forth. It's equally across the spectrum. I'm not special, but I cannot help any race that resists me. If I have a show and I'm doing a show and you resist me, you make yourself look bad. Why do a show or want to do a show to think you're embarrassing me? Because you never will embarrass me. It's my show. People know. People come here. Some people clown me and some people know my behavior. So when you start acting out of character on my show, the people will start saying, wow, really? And I'm not going to allow that. If you cannot pay for a show, then and you have the money and you refuse to pay for a show, I'm not demanding you pay, nor am I desperate for payment. But it's a respect thing, it's a business thing. This is my business, and I'm getting it off the ground. People gladly paid me. So I know my worth. Ford Motors, he's right about what he said. Ford Motors, major companies, they hear complaining. Like let's just go with the grand company, Tesla. They hear complaining and they hear compliments. If Tesla really had cared to the degree of how they would like for him to care, where he is hurting from everything that they're doing, he would be expired by now. You have to have a wall. That means people, how many of those individuals that got fired from Tesla and MySpace and Facebook, um, everywhere, how many people from those major companies that got fired actually talk junk? And they know they talk junk. They right there in the building talking junk. That's what they do. Agents, secret agent men, women, stirring up unnecessary conflict within his organization. That's what certain agents do. And it's in the paper that there were agents working at Twitter when it was called Twitter and not X. So yeah. One and two. That was very boring. I really changed my style. It used to be tell me about your future. Well, my keywords were welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. I would like to introduce, or for the show, I have a very special guest for the show today. Can you go ahead and introduce who you are and where you're calling from? Tell me about your past leading up into your present. If you had to give someone a piece of advice, what would it be? At different times, I added different things. And then I said, how can the people reach you? This was in 2022. I wasn't doing that with certain people and I couldn't remember. So yeah. Okay. I need a middle. Oh, I like that lipstick cloud. So we got someone from Florida. Let's see. I got a 20 minutes, so I need to take off 7. 20 plus that equals 37. So I need to take off 7 minutes of this. He had a lot. I remember him. He had a lot of issues with staff. I think he's prior Air Force. I'm not sure, or military. Let's try this again. Now, both parties are at fault. Both parents in this situation are at fault. It wasn't the children. It was that the parent told the child to say, the white parent told the white child to tell him that it was a private party. The parent was at fault. Now, the black parent told him that, well, white people don't want us at that party. So all this hatred fueling, all this hatred fueling. Now he's like, that's his first pierce of feeling bad, and blood was drawn. And then everything that happens here on out is a division in South Carolina. Obviously, it's a division. I don't believe in division. If you don't like me, fine. You can do little weird crap to me, fine. You can steal my wigs. You can do whatever you want. But don't sit up there and do like be racist. I'm not a racist person. I always come off as racist, but I am. I don't care what nobody think. I know God. We have to identify our skin color before our gender. I have a double whammy, my skin color and then my gender. It exists, but to a degree, and I'm okay. I leave people where they are if they are prejudiced. I don't I don't sit up there and try to do it the old school Christian way and castrate them because and make them convert to what my beliefs are. If they don't like it, they don't like it. Or me, that is. See, he paused there. I caught that. He paused there when I sat up there and said that's what a Democrat does. Let's take it back to the 1940s, 1930s, 40s, late 30s, 40s. Two black men killed this one white lady that was Democrat. And this was in Mississippi. And so the Democrats went, they slaughtered all black people. They threw them in fires. They created fires, threw the children in the fires. They hung them. They ran across the bridge. Some of them got away, others got shot. This is what the Democrats did. President Lincoln got shot, even if I'll admit I read that he got shot in the head when he sat up there and freed the slaves. Now, his real agenda was for the war to proceed. That was his main agenda. But amongst everything else, he knew what he was doing, which was freeing the slaves. His main agenda was the war. His second agenda was, or below that, was to free the slave. This was not his. I read it. I read it through Grok. That's my fact check. That was not his agenda. And then there was 8 presidents before George Washington, but none of them presided as some type of clause that was put in US. The whole US, wasn't confiscated, like now, like it wasn't conjoined like now. So yeah. The reason why I like degrees is because it's a degree to which you know. It's a key. So even if I don't have a job in the corporate world or a job in attached to the military, I'm okay with just the education. I'm paying for it eventually. I I like to learn, and this keeps me on my toes. Getting a second master's degree in leadership management. I may not even go to the graduation because I don't even want to see the people that try to get me suspended and or expelled. I just want to sit up there and I would be missing. No, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go there. And the reason why I'm gonna go is because I have not missed a graduation. I have never missed a graduation. I should have my doctorates by now. I took one doctorate's class and got an A, and this guy made it so effing hard for me to get a in statistics. I have the vouchers to prove that I've been through hell and back with this man, but it's worth it because I got my grade and I'm moving on. I got one more team assignment to do, and I'm like, how are they gonna fuck it up for me this time? Now, remember those words that I just said. Hold on. This could be J. Hold on. Go back. You can tell he's resisting. This is what I mean. This is the perfect example. He's resisting me. He feels like, I can tell by the way he's acting, he feels like he cannot relate to what I'm saying, or he's afraid to say certain things right on camera to me. Because he was talking just fine under beneath the studio, like outside, and I tried to, you know, um, you know, break the ice. That's the first thing, to break the ice and let the person feel comfortable. But you see all those spaces, you see all these dead spaces. He's really registering. It's not that he's slow. This guy isn't slow. That's kind of like a waste of video footage. I hope y'all hear this. Tell me if y'all hear this. Can y'all hear? This is a guy who was in IT. Okay, I got him to open up. Cool. I must have broke the ice late. I would have loved to do an IT contract overseas, work tremendous amount of hours, but I think they kept it from me because now that I know what I know now about how they kill their own kind, and they do brutal, sadistic shit to their own people that resist them. I'm good. I don't need to go over there. I don't, you can send me a picture. One day I can be there but not be there, at the same time. I'm good with that in certain countries. I see Russia, I'm like, hey, Russia, cool. Did y'all hear about that black guy who ran to the North Korean border? I never heard about him again. This military army guy that was African. Like, when do you know? He must have been scared. He had to have known. They say to stay away from there. It is a catch to that because we have not heard or seen or found, or like he don't reach out and touch nobody, like none of that. Like no trade-offs between family members or trade-offs where he's coming home. I haven't heard nothing. I could be wrong, but I haven't heard nothing. Oh, I look like I'm laughing and I'm not. I'm just smiling because that's my job to do is smile. But it's not, and I'm trying to absorb what he's saying. I don't get off on seeing him suffer. That is on God. He has a lot on his mind. You can tell he has a lot on. It's beyond that. He has a lot on his mind. See, the way he looked at me is like I was like, okay, he was looking for something, and I'm like, I really feel bad for him. I do. I do. He don't know how to express it. Obviously, based on the conversation for the last, I guess this is 13 minutes, he don't know how to express himself. And when we don't know how to express ourselves, even black people do this. Black people will nitpick at you not being able to express yourself, especially in black men. Black women do it to black men all the time. Where, men that it's hard to express themselves, you know, they degrade them. I never degraded any of my husbands or boyfriends until they crossed me. So as a woman scorned, you right, I was scorned. I'm going to talk junk. And they couldn't take that, as everyone that are hating on my page. So I can tell I really am open to this conversation with him, because now what I'm doing is I'm researching to help him. I'm not thinking like I said I was thinking in the beginning. I'm thinking about making him look good, because obviously I know that he I felt that he has an anger problem. He don't know how to express himself. And he has that I don't give a fuck trigger. If he didn't have it, he wouldn't have gotten into trouble in the Air Force. And they wouldn't have demoted him, which he said he was ready to leave. He gave up. He said that. When okay, there we go. You see how I'm helping him? I'm not trying to judge him. I just say what it is, but at the same time, he's on my show to get promoted. How I feel about him outside of the show with the resistant and him getting mad because I said Democrats are prejudiced, because they say if you're black, you better go Democrat. It's a rhyme that they say. I don't know the rhyme. They won't teach me the rhyme. But the rhyme it says that if you're black, you need to go Democrat. I commend him. I commend him. That's a good website. Do you know how hard it is to have a website? How hard it is to get a domain? How hard. I tried it. I'll come back to it when the time is right. But I've tried it. I've tried it. I'm gonna have to, wow. Okay, bam. The rest is coming out he's talking a whole lot more. If I grow, the only reason I'm not being lazy with this, you guys, I know myself. If I sit up there and listen to what he say, it's going to be harder for me to. I'm gonna get emotionally invested. This is gonna make it harder for me to cut the tape. So I'm just gonna push it through and go to how can the people reach you or thank you for joining my show. That's why I don't go over. I don't like to go over. Right there. Yeah. It's not my fault. I'm not going to delete that part. I want to delete right there. Look at the down. Ah! I didn't mean to do that. It was right there. It's right. That don't flow right. Okay, he said that 3 times, 3 different ways. Why is he doing that? Why is that messed up? How did that get messed up? It's always something. I gotta take off a little bit more. You see how these dead spots right here? Right there. Ugh. The only reason I brought up that racism is because he addressed it off camera. So obviously he wanted to talk about it. 16 more seconds. I hate when that happens. I hate when that happens. It's something I'm doing. I know what I'm gonna do. Tony Jefferson. Bam, right there. So I can have both of their names. Any more? Damn, look at all that space before he talked. Okay, that should be good. That is good. Okay. Well, it look like I gotta change the name to that. I don't know who you are, but you got a lot of money. I don't even have that type of money. So yeah, you guys. I went on ahead and I finished the project off. I can see some people were more concerned with the project to see if I could finish it than listening to me. So it's okay. Um, other than that, yeah. Let me get off of here. I I haven't done this in a while. Almost 2 hours. Almost 2 hours. You know, this is what it's about, sitting up there doing my job and making sure the next step while this downloads is to make sure that it get download, and the next step tomorrow is to send it off to the producers and send it off to the people if I can find them. There have been people that I haven't been able to find, but yeah, take care, be safe, and I will see you guys another time.